The following program is a public access production of the United Way of Cayuga County, who assumes full responsibility for its content. The content of this program does not represent the views of Auburn Regional Media Access, which serves as a forum for community expression and offers TV training, production facilities, and channel time to all Auburn area residents and organizations. Welcome to Cayuga Connections, Conversations with United Way, a series where we shine a light on people and programs strengthening our community every day. I am Julisa Stone-Szpaicher, Development and Engagement Manager, and part of my role at the United Way is to coordinate the annual Day of Caring, which brings together hundreds of volunteers to tackle day-long projects to build community resilience across Cayuga County. Today we're talking with Day of Caring Project Site Coordinator, Cheryl Longyear from Montezuma Heritage Park, as well as project volunteer Levi Meyer. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
To get started, I just want to learn a little bit more about the Montezuma Heritage Park. Cheryl, can you tell us about the mission of the park, what you do, and who you serve?
Okay. I'm the town historian for Montezuma. And about 20 years ago, we began to develop this park. It's a town-owned park. It has 65 acres, wow. 11 trails. We feature the historic resources that were once a part of the Erie Canal, early to 200-year now Erie Canal system. So volunteers are a very important part of our project.
That's awesome. So is the park open year-round?
It is open year-round, yes.
And it's a tourism site, right? So you get people from across the U.S. and New York?
We get people from all over countries and from the U.S., yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's on the Empire State Trailway now, so that's an across-state trailway, and so we get a lot of bicyclers coming in that are doing the trail.
Oh, that's awesome. I see that there's a lot of new bicycle events that are happening along the Erie Canal.
Yes.
I feel like there's more every year.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So can you tell us a little bit about your project last year, what you had the volunteers come and do,
Sure.
and the impact of that project being completed?
Yeah. When the volunteers came out, I had a map ready for them. Like I said, we have 11 trails, and so I mapped out a trail system I thought that would work well for them. And I asked them if they would just check on the trails. We need to make sure the trails are clear. I gave them a garbage bag. They could pick up any garbage they might find along the way. Some loppers for trimming back any bushes that are extending out on the trails. And just taking in the sites and the Erie Canal history that's interpreted throughout the park. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So what is the impact of having the volunteers, for the community members?
Yeah, it's so important because the town of Montezuma is a very small municipality. We don't have a parks department, so so much of the upkeep of the park depends upon the volunteers that we have. Small community also, we don't have a large, a lot of volunteers to help out. So this is just another facet that we can have that will help us. Yeah.
And so Day of Caring is one day, but would you say that you're also looking for volunteers year-round?
Always looking for volunteers, yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, maybe some of our viewers will give you a call up and become regular volunteers, or maybe some of our friends from the Auburn Enlarged City School District will come out a little bit more regularly. I want to say hi to Levi here. So you were part of the volunteer team from the Auburn Enlarged City School District. Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of volunteering and community engagement and why the school district is really involved?
Yeah, the school district is really involved because we have to lead by example, right? We educate our students and the community in more ways than just within the classrooms. And part of the way we do that is leading by example. So it's great for us to demonstrate as a leadership team within the district, going out in the community and supporting in various ways. So I was on the team that supported at Montezuma Heritage Park, and we had several teams at other sites as well.
You did. And can you tell us, so it's great that you're leading by example. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the team building? Because Auburn School District is one of our largest teams that comes out every day, and you like to do the projects together.
Yeah, it was really great. At my particular site at the park, there were about, I would say, 15 of us, and we were all administrators from various departments and buildings across the district. And we very often work within the walls of our own building, and we don't have an opportunity to interact with each other much beyond the professional work that we do. So it's really great for us to be outside of the confines of work, both physically in structure as well as just in the way we can interact with each other. We had a lot of fun with the loppers and picking up the trash, and not that we found a lot of it, which was amazing. I was so happy about that. Yeah, so our interactions, our conversations along the trail were really great. And I've only been with the district for about a year, so I'm still working on building a lot of those relationships. And this opportunity really gave me a great foot in the door to build those relationships.
It was almost like perfect timing if it's only been a year. So congrats on your 1 year.
Thank you.
A great introduction to some of your colleagues.
Yes, for sure.
So let's talk with both of you at the same time and talk about the shared experience. So what was it like for the Montezuma Park and the school district to actually work together? What were some of the big takeaways that both of you had from the day?
Well, to see the smiling faces as they come back walking on the trail, and they're chatting with each other, they're enjoying being out in nature and helping out. I think maybe they learned a little bit more about the history of our area that's kind of outside of the Auburn district, and I think so maybe they had some takeaways in that respect. As a historian, I'm always looking to educate those about the importance of the Erie Canal through Cayuga County, so it was great.
Yeah, when we arrived, Cheryl had a little bit of a team. I think there were 3 or 4 of you who were there, and you greeted us and you gave us the historical overview of the park, and you told us about the aqueducts and described the path that we would take and what we would see. It was really great to learn about learn that historical aspect of the park and just that section of the county, which I'm not that familiar with.
So you're new with the district. Are you also new to this area?
I moved to the Syracuse area about 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Rochester, so not far away, but sort of jumped over Cayuga County along the way.
Well, this sounds like it was a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about the history of our immediate community right here. And so when you think back to last year, was there one moment or one connection that you made with a colleague or one of the volunteers that really stood out and has left a lasting impression on you over the course of the year?
Like I said, I mean, the smiling faces that when they came back and they were all joking with each other, you could tell they had enjoyed themselves while they were helping out a community. So that always does my heart good.
Yeah, I would say definitely among my group, we built those connections. We didn't get to work for an extended period with Cheryl's team as we were going along the trails, but it was great to hear from them the history, and then we connected again at the end, and we did discuss some possibilities of opportunities for the school district to better support the park on a more regular basis.
Awesome. So what would you say, or why would you say that the Day of Caring is important to our community?
Well, it gets the word out because we're a small rural community that this park is. Our Facebook page quite often, when we post a picture or something, I didn't know that was there, and so just helping us get the word out that this is something that's available. I think especially during COVID, oh my God, it was so heartwarming to see people be able to get out in nature and communicate with each other where they weren't normally able to do that. So nature is important to us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd say that participating in the Day of Caring and volunteering helps us just amplify our voice over time. The more outreach that we have, the more work that we do, the more support we can provide to the community, the more impact we can have overall. And going back to my idea of setting an example, it just lets us continue to carry that message and to show that doing good for the community will just have a greater impact over time.
Yeah, awesome. So can we expect to see you both at this year's Day of Caring on August 6th?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for coming in and chatting with us. For our viewers, I want to thank Cheryl and Levi for your time and for sharing your Day of Caring experiences with us today. The annual Day of Caring is always held the first Thursday in August. To learn more about the Day of Caring or to register your project or volunteer team, visit unitedwayofcayugacounty.org. Thank you for watching this episode of Cayuga Connections, Conversations with the United Way. Stay tuned. After a quick break, we'll be chatting with another Day of Caring project, coordinator, and volunteer team. Welcome to Cayuga Connections, Conversations with the United Way, a series where we shine a spotlight on people and programs strengthening our community every day. I'm Julisa Stone-Szpaicher, Development and Engagement Manager, and part of my role is to coordinate the annual Day of Caring that brings together hundreds of volunteers to tackle day-long projects to build community resilience across Cayuga County. Today, we're talking with Day of Project Site Coordinator, Marilyn Baader from the Frontenac Museum and Historical Society, as well as a project volunteer, Iven. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. I want to start off with Marilyn. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Frontenac Museum and Historical Society, what your organization does, and the community that you serve, and a little bit about your mission?
Yes, I'd be glad to. Frontenac Historical Society and Museum is located in Union Springs, New York, right downtown on the main street. The museum itself was organized in 1974 by a group of interested citizens who felt that local history was being forgotten, and they wanted to try to get it started again. And this occurred during the bicentennial of the village of Union Springs. So we are currently located in the old Presbyterian Church, or the former Presbyterian Church, which is now ours. Our programs are, we do programs for general public and our citizens. Usually every Sunday around 7 o'clock. We do one a month on various subjects. We actually started in March, this time recognizing Women's Month. So we have a special recognition, and this year it was for the 4 women who own businesses in Union Springs. And we'll have upcoming programs starting in May. The museum is open from May 15th till October 15th. There are docents on hand from Saturday and Sunday from 1 until 4 p.m. We put on exhibits. We have 5 rooms where exhibits can be displayed. And we have 2 new exhibits this year, one on the Lehigh Valley Railroad and another on just Americana. So, yes. So we do programs. We certainly collect artifacts which allow us to set up the exhibits. And we're constantly fundraising in many ways.
So for people to get involved, so fundraising, so people can make a gift, and then also, do you have volunteer opportunities? Are your docents all volunteers?
Everybody that works there is a volunteer. All the docents are volunteers, the curating committee that really records the items that have come in, sets up the exhibits. We've just recently totally refurbished our military room, which was dedicated to Tom Eldred, who was a big military person. And so we're pretty excited about that.
Oh, that's awesome. And so your visitors, I know it's local history, so you get a lot of local groups who come through. Do you also get a lot of visitors from around the state and around the country?
It's interesting. We wish we got more local people. Yes. And we're trying to encourage more young people involvement. And to that effect, we have on this coming Saturday, the 18th of April, whenever that is, there was a 6th grade group at Union Springs whose teacher wanted them to learn about the museum and about how to set up exhibits. So they came to the museum, they toured it, they got a talk from us in terms of how to set up an exhibit, what's important to recognize. And then the students went back to their school, and over the course of a few weeks, they were each to set up their own exhibit. So those exhibits are being brought back to the museum. They will all be displayed, and the student will be there on the 18th to explain their exhibit. So her whole goal, Janet Murphy was the teacher that was involved, and her whole goal was to introduce people to the importance of local history.
Well, that's awesome. That's such a great program. Will the exhibits be up throughout the summer?
They will. The exhibits will stay up. I'm not sure they've decided when, but they will still stay up for probably a couple months.
Oh, so maybe your Day of Caring volunteers will get to see them when they come in August.
Yes, they probably will. We hope so.
Awesome. Speaking of the Day of Caring, can you tell us a little bit about what your project was last year, what the society had the volunteers work on last year, and the impact that the organization saw from those projects being completed?
Well, that day was pretty special. And I was just overwhelmed with the volunteers that we had that came. We had a total of 16 volunteers, and they cut back brush, they cut limbs off trees that surrounded our property, they cut back our flower gardens, they mulched the flower gardens. They hauled away the trash, the limbs and the brush. They took 3 loads of that. So that was the project, and it so enhanced the outside of the building, and it was just, it made it look different. It was wonderful.
enticing more people to come visit.
Yes,
Saturdays and Sundays
yes.
through the summer.
Yeah, it looks like we're taking care of it as best we can.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And speaking of our volunteers, hello, Chris. So I know that you volunteered as part of the Unity House team. Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of volunteering and community engagement and what it means to your team at Unity House?
Sure, yeah. So Unity House, also a nonprofit, founded in 1977. So we're 49 years old now. But it's founded by this community. It's owned by this community. And its whole purpose was to support the community's needs. Specifically, we support people with disabilities, mostly housing, but also day services, employment services. And so we consider ourselves to be an important foundation for this community being strong. You know, if there weren't a Unity House, there would be a lot of people who need help, and it would be on all of us to take care of them. And so we do that for the community. And well, the people that work for Unity House, they are proud of their work. They also want people to know that they care about their community as well. And we want our employees to know that we support their community strengthening activities. So we encourage them to volunteer for the Day of Caring because it was a way for them to do something different, something they don't normally do, out in the community that's visible, and feel like a sense of accomplishment on that day to actually make a difference for a smaller nonprofit. So yeah, on that day we split up. Some of us went to Mosaic and worked there for a while and kind of cleaned that up real quick, and then we all joined up at Frontenac later on. I came later on. That was a lot of fun. It's a sweaty day. You know, the blowers were blowing all the dust around, and I was raking, and I was, you know, sawing, and I was on those trucks that delivered 3 big loads of brush to the compost pile at the town there. It was a lot of fun, and I had a great time.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I know that by doing these projects with your colleagues, it's like a team building opportunity. Can you talk about the connection that you were able to make with your colleagues that you wouldn't usually get to make in the office on the day-to-day?
Yeah, that's a great point. So Unity House is somewhat spread out. We have administrative employees, but we also have a lot of folks who work in group homes or at Dayhab or at our recovery program or at our mental health recovery program. And so they don't get to see each other as often. There's a disconnect. They don't see each other as much as they would like. So this was a way for us to get together, to actually, for some of us, meet each other, because we don't see each other. So we see each other so little that we don't even know their names. And you know, here I am working with someone who I don't see every day, and we're working together to edge the sidewalk. We scraped out all those little bits of grass that had grown over the sidewalk, and you know, to shovel things into bags and get everything out there. So it's a great team building experience for us. Team building is important for the work that we do. So it's important that we all feel like we're all part of the same mission.
Yeah.
And helping another nonprofit is part of our mission. Unity House is designed to strengthen the community, and that's the same thing. You know?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
We had a great time, and I really enjoyed walking through the museum afterward.
Yes.
You guys were so gracious. You had food and drinks for us there, and everyone, you know, was free to walk around and sort of see the exhibits.
Yeah.
Really nice exhibits, and you know, for a small bootstrap volunteer-run organization, classy presentation at the museum. I was really impressed.
It is a
Thank
beautiful
you.
museum.
Thank you.
I was able to stop out. I went to a few of the sites, and the museum was one of them that I was able to make it to. And it was the first time that I had been in it, and it is beautiful and a lot of great information.
Good. Well, you're welcome back.
I will be back. So can you share a little bit about what it was like to work together for the Day of Caring?
Yeah, I think it was an expression of thankfulness, of goodwill to both communities, and it was just a lot of fun. Hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work.
I felt like I had the impression that we were just a bunch of ants that were just kind of swarming the scene. You know how and you know, things just got done. Like
Yeah.
people moved and you know,
Yeah.
limbs got sawn and everything happened really quick.
It was amazing. Many of them brought their own equipment,
Yeah.
you know, to do what we needed done, which is another good thing that this program does, is ask what kinds of services you need in advance so that they know they can send the right people that can do that.
Oh yeah, on our volunteer registration, we asked, do you have any special skills so that we can help
Right.
make those pairings? Because I know one year we had staircase repair, so we were lucky. We had a few people who had carpentry skills. So I'm glad that as a project site coordinator, you find that very helpful. Yes.
I'm coming up with a list for this coming year, so we might be looking for some painters.
Someone on our crew, actually, a few members of our crew were members of Unity House's maintenance crew. So they had tools, but they also had a truck. And without that truck, we would have had you would have had a difficult time to get rid of all that brush.
Yes.
That was a lot of brush.
Yeah.
A lot of brush.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that you two were able to work and your teams. So when you think back to last year's Day of Caring, was there a particular moment or a connection that you made with either a colleague or someone from each other's organization that really stood out and has stuck with you over the year?
Oh, let me think of that.
I'll just say, you know, most of my work is talking with people or, you know, on the phone or in person or sitting at a desk. So this was a great opportunity for me. I love being outdoors. I mean, I wish I could do all my work outdoors, actually. This is a great opportunity for me to work with not only members of your team, you know, volunteers at your group, but also, you know, volunteers who were Unity House staffers on something physical. So I actually, you know, people were sweating and they're like, oh, it's so hot. I was like, I love this. Of course, I have natural air conditioning. But it was just fun to, you know, sweat together and actually feel like you're getting something done. And when we were all done, we stood on the stairs in front of the Frontenac and in front of the museum, and we had that group photo, and everyone was just so relaxed and so comfortable. It was just, you know, I felt like I don't live in that community. I don't live in Union Springs, but I felt like I was part of the community.
See? Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I know that scene you're talking about on our steps in the museum was published by Chris Shattuck, who does Happenings in Union Springs, if anybody watches that. It's a wonderful way. It's on Facebook, and she had that picture and described it on Facebook. So she has so many thousand reviewers of her happenings.
Nice.
So we also are very thankful that besides Unity House, and they had a large number of volunteers with us, we also had the Auburn School District, and we had the local bank, Cayuga Lake National Bank.
You had a big team. I think your team had the most organizations come together.
Yeah. So we give credit to all of those agencies that came to our help for our benefit.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so happy that it all worked out and the museum looked beautiful all summer long. So I guess the next question is, like, what do you believe makes the Day of Caring really important for our community?
I think it brings a lot of goodwill. I think it highlights to our own community what we have and how it's made to continue to operate. So I was just awestruck with the willingness of different people to come together, figure out the job, and go to it. So it was an awesome day. I loved it.
I think the Day of Caring is just a perfect example of that volunteer spirit in this community. That's why the United Way exists. It's why your organization exists.
Right.
It's why Unity House was founded. It's a bunch of people who saw a problem and said, you know what?
Yep.
We can solve this problem, but we can't do it alone. Let's work together. And when you work together, you get a lot done,
Yeah.
like we did. I mean, we ants. But the Day of Caring is sort of like that in a nutshell. You know, just a single day where you can see
Right.
that in action.
Right.
It's really nice.
It is nice. It is nice. So we thank you for doing it.
Oh, thank you. I guess the last and big question is, can we expect to see both of you at the Day of Caring this August on the 6th?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Of course.
Certainly can.
We're so excited to have you both and all the volunteers and projects come together. I want to thank Marilyn and Chris for your time and for sharing your Day of Caring experiences with us today. The annual Day of Caring is always held the first Thursday in August. To learn more about the Day of Caring or to register your project or volunteer team, visit unitedwayofcayugacounty.org. Thank you for watching this episode of Cayuga Connections, Conversations with the United Way, and we'll see you next time.